We have a very special guest with us. We got the co-writer, the co-producer, and the director of something big and exciting coming out. I am so pumped. Strange Tales of the South Shore. We got Ken Amlin with us. This is brand new. Just heard about it. You were telling us that you just told the public about this. Ken, I'm excited. I'm going to let you take it away for a moment and tell us all about this project, how it come about, how long it's been in the works, and when you got the green light from Bell 5 TV.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for having me. Strange Tales of the South Shore is a new series that we've been putting together for almost a year now. It's celebrating urban legends, right? So every episode of the show is going to focus on a different urban legend from the community. And we go into a deep dive of exploring, not so much whether or not these urban legends are true or made up, but we just want to retell these amazing stories. So we have stories that cover everything from Texas Road, Boblo, the Baldoon Mystery out of Wallaceburg, and the Haunting of Adelaide out of Chatham.
I love this. So Amherstburg related, Texas Road. What can you tell us about, because there's been a lot of talk about Texas Road lately. There was a new book being put out, and there was a book launch here in Amherstburg about that. I'm not sure if that story made the book, but you're focusing on a story that happened on Devil's Night. Can you take us a little into that?
Sure, yeah. Texas Road, for anyone like myself who grew up in the area, you can't go through your teens without hearing about Texas Road and the Texas Road Cemetery and going there on Devil's Night. Everyone loves to go and see if they can find something haunted. So we knew right away, doing an urban legend set in Amherstburg, Texas Road as an episode is a no-brainer. So we started doing all the research, and we got stories of Texas Road dating back to the mid-1800s. This place has been the source of some supernatural phenomena for a long time. Now you dig a little deeper and you start to realize that it seems like all of the origins of these ghost stories all kind of come back to a group of friends who are playing pranks on someone else. So how much the actual Texas Road and the cemetery are haunted, who's to say? We don't know. That's what we're excited to explore, right? We've created a story around all the legends, and we're interested in talking to more people about their personal experience with Texas Road. Are they a ghost hunter who's seen something? Do they live on Texas Road and they don't think it's haunted at all? We want every different viewpoint on the subject, because the way that this series is actually shaped, half of every episode is an original film. It's a narrative that's scripted with actors, and we write an original story and tell an original story based on the legend. That's its own standalone thing. And then there's also a documentary where we want to interview people who have firsthand experience with that urban legend of that episode. In this case, Texas Road. So if you have been there and you got freaked out, we want to hear from you. We want to hear your story. We want to put you in the episode and share what it is that makes Texas Road so special.
Wow. Who hasn't been freaked out on Texas Road? Seriously, I'm assuming you've gone there.
You know what? In doing some early research for this episode specifically, I went out to Texas Road on Halloween night, this past Halloween, and it was a very cold and windy night. And one of the legends is, of course, when you drive over the bridge, your car will die. Now, I didn't drive over a bridge, but I was walking around, checking out the scene, and as I went to leave, my car would not start.
That happened to you? No way.
I swear to God, and it has never happened since. It never happened before. It turned over the ignition, nothing happened. It was a relatively new car. I sat back and thought, no, this is not, come on. I tried it again, and it started like, okay, that was weird.
That is a well-known thing that happens. People that have crossed the bridge, you can't get to it anymore, right, by vehicle? But
Not by vehicle, no.
That was always the thing. It took them quite a few times to start it, and that's what everybody would say. Never had issues before, never had car trouble before, relatively new car, or it was all fine, everything up to date. Oh my God. So that happened to you.
It happened to me. And, fluke, who knows? But yeah.
I mean, maybe were you looking over your shoulder all around to see while trying to start it?
One of the stories you always hear is, getting freaked out on Texas Road, and it ends up being other ghost hunters, other people looking for a scare, and you just end up scaring each other. That exact thing happened to me again. As I was pulling away, there's more people ran into other ghost hunters looking for a scare. They heard of Texas Road and they wanted to check it out for themselves. So, yeah. Wow. Even today, this legend has been going on for over 100 years, right?
Oh my God.
It's wild.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so no paranormal experience just yet on Texas Road for you?
Not that I've experienced firsthand. I haven't spent too much time there, honestly. I was already an adult by the time I heard of the legend of Texas Road, so I didn't spend my teen years partying in the cemetery like you hear stories of. But I'm excited to hear those stories from people.
Oh, I'm excited too. I'm excited to talk about another story here. One that you just told me about, an urban legend. Smiley,
Yes.
the magician, he was performing magician on Boblo Island.
So as the legend goes, and again, these are urban legends, so we don't know how true or how made up these are. There's not a lot of information on this one. It's certainly not as popular as Texas Road. But as the story goes, Smiley was the magician in-house on the Boblo Theater magic show. He played there for years, a well-known magician, and the big climax of his show was called the Metamorphosis. He would get into a big chest, and suddenly they would light it on fire. It would burn to the ground, and he would appear somewhere else in the theater. Big, trap door, sneak out, it's fine. Well, one day, he gets in the chest, and he had a heart attack.
Oh.
He wasn't able to get out, and the chest burns to the ground in front of the entire audience. His charred corpse is there on stage, haunting everybody. So, as the story goes, they closed down for a few days. They renamed the theater the Haunted Theater and got a new magician in.
Oh my God. I've never heard this one before. That is a brand new one. I never even thought Boblo Island would be haunted.
I've reached out to a few local magicians like Scott Rawlings who had heard of the legend. He didn't really know too much more about it than hearing the story also. So I'm definitely interested to hear if other people know about this story, have heard of it. Maybe they have more information, more details. Maybe they worked in the theater alongside this guy, or they have more information to share. I'm really excited to hear.
Oh, well, I'm excited too. This whole series sounds phenomenal. You got 4 episodes in season 1 here. When can we expect this thing to come out? Because I am on edge here. I need to learn more about Smiley. I need to learn more about other areas that are haunted in southwestern Ontario. Like, this is great. I love this.
Well, you won't have to wait too long. We're already working backwards. Our premiere date is October 1st of this year. So we'll be shooting and making this all spring into the summer. And right in time for the spooky Halloween season this year, you'll be able to watch it online.
Oh, that's great. That is phenomenal. This whole idea is perfect. I think people my age and a little younger and a little older, I'm not sure how old you are, but you look relatively young. Everybody loves to get scared. They love the haunted stuff that is so big right now. And then when it's local too, you have more of a connection to it. Is that kind of why you thought of a project like this, a connection, because it's all local?
Yeah, it's great. Everyone can relate to these stories, right? Maybe you've heard of Texas Road, or you have a fascination with Boblo Island, and here's an opportunity to learn more about them, right? Here's a movie made about something in my backyard, kind of thing, right? Automatically, I'm more drawn to it. Texas Road has always been the source of inspiration for filmmakers in the area. There have been many people who've made a film or short film or whatever it might be about Texas Road, documentaries. There's no shortage of those because it's such a draw, right? There's a fascination about it.
Can I ask too about Texas Road? Why specifically that story about Devil's Night?
Well, Devil's Night is kind of the origin of where the haunts take place, right? That's when most of the supernatural come out, and that's where a lot of the urban legends kind of center around. Obviously, there's stories of, like we mentioned, the cars ignition dying. There's stories of the headless horseman. There's stories of another headless woman. There's stories of a white horse. All kinds of different things, and they seem to all come out around Devil's Night. That's why, going back years and years, there was always a big police presence on Devil's Night because it's private property and they wanted to not disturb the local community. So we're taking all of those things as inspiration to kind of weave an interesting story that I think people are really going to like.
Oh yeah, they're all going to be great. The other 4 episodes, where are they located?
So we've got the 2 out of Amherstburg and then 2 out of Chatham. So the Adelaide haunting is about a nun who was kicked out of the convent because she got pregnant. She took refuge in a house where she took her own life and now haunts babysitters who watch over kids in that house. So that one has been written about in ghost story books out of Chatham. We're excited to tackle that one as well. We actually found the original house. It still stands in Chatham. We're very excited to put that on camera. And the final one is called The Baldoon Mystery.
That's a good one.
Anyone who's looked into Canadian horror stories has no doubt heard of The Baldoon Mystery. It's probably Canada's most talked about and most celebrated haunted occurrence, taking place in what is now known as Wallaceburg. Back in 1829, the Scottish settlement of Baldoon was the site where this haunted kind of curse took over this farm and drove a family mad.
I can't wait. I've read about that story. It's been a while, but I've read about it in Haunted Canada. So you're tackling a big one. And everything that you were telling me off air was absolutely insane that happened. Like the house lifted off its foundation like 3 to 6 feet up in the air during an exorcism there.
Oh yeah.
Wild. Absolutely wild.
It's a well-documented haunted case. A lot of books and scholars have studied it and written about it. You can find a lot about it. Even in Wallaceburg, they have a museum dedicated to this exact haunted occurrence. It's pretty wild, and we're very excited to be tackling it and putting it on camera.
I'm excited too. Ken, I could sit here all day and talk about this stuff with you. No problem. I love this stuff. It is right up my alley. I got to thank you so much for coming in, talking all about Strange Tales of the South Shore. Very excited for this to come out around October 1st, correct?
Yeah, October 1st is the premiere. So if anyone listening has stories of Boblo or Texas Road and want to share them for the episode, we can put you right in the episode. Please reach out to us simply at strangetales@gmail.com and we'll get in contact with you.
Oh, this is phenomenal. You're going to be flooded with requests. Everybody's going to have a story. Ken, thank you so much. This has been terrific. Very nice to meet you. And thank you for, shedding some spotlight on Amherstburg and southwestern Ontario. I love it. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Cheers.